Women educators are natural givers, pouring into their students, their families, and communities. But what about pouring into you? This is the Educator Sanctuary, where we help you ditch the guilt and unapologetically put yourself at the top of your list. I'm Dr. Leah, educator, mindset coach, and your guide to creating a life where you align with your purpose and reclaim your power. So if you're ready to set boundaries and step fully into the woman you're meant to be, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it. Hey, and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversations, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that help you live more intentionally. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Leah, and today we're going to be talking about why, when things start getting good in life, something happens and you derail. We're going to be talking about self-sabotage, your upper limit for success, and how to move forward without turning on yourself. This episode is for you. If you have ever thought, okay, new year, fresh start, this time is going to be different, and here you are now, near the end of January, feeling unmotivated, wondering why you still cannot stay consistent, wondering why things are already falling apart when the month just started, and you got a whole year ahead of you. If you have ever noticed that when things start getting good, something happens, and you feel like you have taken one step forward, but 10 steps back. If that's you, stay with me because this episode is definitely for you. Right now, people are typically in one of two groups. Group one is still riding the high wave of that new year energy. They're feeling focused, motivated, and they're like, okay, things are really looking ahead for me. This year is going to be the best year. But then there's a larger group of people who are quietly disappointed, trying not to admit it, trying to act like everything is fine. But in the back of their minds, they're already thinking, I absolutely cannot possibly do another year like this again. And if you're in group two, the good news is, even though you feel like you should be further along because the year just started, and there's no need to bully yourself into self-discipline mode. More often than not, the reason why you cannot get going is not always because of discipline. What you don't know is that a lot of times it's because of fear. Sometimes it's your nervous system, aka those mindset blocks. And even more true, it's that you've hit your upper limit for success. There is this concept from Gay Hendricks' book. It's called The Big Leap. And in that book, he talks about the upper limit problem. It's basically the idea that when things start going well, we hit what they call an invisible ceiling. We start feeling uncomfortable, and then we do things that bring us back down to what feels safe or familiar. You might have heard other people talk about it in referring to a thermostat, where the thermostat is set at a certain temperature, and when it hits that temperature, it comes back down. So you might be thinking, why would I bring myself back down? But he explains it with a few examples. For example, if you are in a relationship, everything is going good, you might start random arguments. Not because you want to consciously ruin a good time, but because you actually have a limit on how much happiness you feel like you're allowed to have in your life. You might be used to a bit of chaos. So when it's too quiet, it makes you nervous. And then your system craves that excitement through the chaos that you're going to create through those arguments. Maybe you start making more money. Maybe you were praying for more money, a better job, be able to start saving, investing. But then when you get more money, you start spending like crazy. Or sometimes you miss deadlines that cause you extra late fees, or you get problems in your life like your car breaks down or your refrigerator goes out. Something happens that's going to cost you that extra income because your subconscious part of you is like, this is too much money. I got to get rid of it until you get back down to your comfort level. Now, your comfort level is like your bank account is always on empty. So obviously that's not comfortable, but your nervous system is used to struggle. So when you have ease, your nervous system is like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this. And it brings you back down to struggle. There have been people who have started doing really well with their health goals. Like life starts lifing and then boom, you're skipping workouts, or you get nervous or depressed and you use that as an excuse to start snacking at night, or you get a big injury that prevents you from working out altogether and spiraling back to that previous weight. Because consistency at a higher level, or even just being a different size than what you were before, feels unfamiliar. So even though we never like these familiar things, self sabotage is what our body and our subconscious thinks is safe because it's what it's used to. It's basically like this protection mechanism that nobody asked for, but it's just there. So today we're going to talk about why you self sabotage when things start working, what it's really protecting you from, and how to move forward without being unkind to yourself. So I'm going to make this real, as always, with my own personal stories, because there were seasons where I was praying for doors to open in my life and mostly in my business. I'm not a person who love a job, okay? So if I have to have a job, I'm going to be praying for a business. And if I have a business, I'm going to be praying for, more money in my business. And there were times that I was like praying, like, God, bless me with the momentum and bless me with stability and, praying for financial increase and praying to be at a certain number so that I can be comfortable. And when the doors opened and the customers started pouring in and the money was like ding, 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 and I felt financially free, instead of being excited and thriving in the element I prayed for, I was just like, oh my gosh, or wondering when I sent the invoice if somebody was going to pay it, or, if it was something was going to be returned, or if some way, somehow I just wasn't going to have enough money. Like I was like worried about losing the money in the back of my mind. And it was so crazy because like every single month, I'm sending out the invoices and I'm like, yes. But then I also started sending out invoices with guilt. Like, man, I'm charging this much money. Like, am I overcharging? And I'm like, this is crazy, because if people felt like it was too much, they wouldn't be paying for it. And it was like, they paid for it. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised. I sent out this invoice for $4,500. Somebody paid it. And I'm like, duh, because the service that I'm offering is worth so much more. And yet it was like, I was surprised, like I shouldn't be bringing that type of money in from one person. And so once I became aware of this upper limit problem, I started working on myself to get ahead of it and to control it, and started saying like, hey girl, you deserve this. Hey girl, you work harder than most. Hey girl, every time you put your all into it, you're always going to give more value than what they're paying for. And I had to remind myself that I am just as worthy as anybody else of receiving. I had to tell myself, you're not charging for the service, you're charging for the outcome. So when I was a fitness coach, and I would charge anywhere between 4,500 to 6,500 depending on the program that they had. And people were like, oh, you charge that much? Yes, because the people that I serve, they're paying thousands of dollars at the doctor's office every year. They're paying to be on medication at the point where if they don't get themselves together, they're going to have to pay thousands of dollars for a surgery to bring them back. So yes, if I'm charging $4,500, that is actually a fraction of what they're probably spending every year on doctor's appointments and medications and blood work and everything else. Those people are paying for the outcome to never have to do that again if they follow my protocol, which is more than worth it. And so when I really looked at what I was delivering, yes, I could quantify that. I could see that very clearly. What they were paying was not close to the value that they were receiving. So the real work for me wasn't how do I get more money? It was how can I let this be good for me without waiting for it to fall apart? Can I receive what I've earned without feeling like I have to prove my worth every 5 minutes? When you have those feelings, that is an upper limit problem. So when we talk about that upper limit problem and how we start showing up and self-sabotaging ourselves, self-sabotage shows up in different ways, right? Sometimes it shows up in you just not being motivated to do whatever you need to do. Sometimes self-sabotage shows up in negative self-talk. Sometimes self-sabotage comes as a protection strategy where you put up a wall and you're like, I'm just going to go back to what I know. Sometimes self-sabotage is busy work, where instead of you doing more to increase or expand what you have, you just do busy work to make it seem like you're busy, but you're really not generating any revenue. And the reason I'm taking my time to explain some of these things is because a lot of these things are what you would think are normal behaviors, right? So if I sit down at my computer and I start making a flyer, making a logo, fixing my website, and I'm never marketing to bring in revenue, that is technically self-sabotage. Why? Because I'm making myself thinking that I'm doing something really good for myself when I know that I need to pay my bills. So I should be generating revenue, but I'm not. Self-sabotage is you allowing someone to put extra events on your day, and then you have an excuse of why you didn't show up to the gym. Well, I didn't show up to the gym because my church needed me to do this. Well, I didn't show up to the gym because my kids needed me to do this. Well, I didn't show up to the gym because this. Well, I didn't have time to pack my lunch because this. Those are self-sabotaging behaviors. They creep up on you very sneakily because it's like, oh, this is just life being life. But when you have a goal and when you have a plan and when you know that you're supposed to be doing something else, but you're allowing events and things or busy work to take the place of what you're supposed to do, that is sneaky self-sabotage. So here are 4 reasons why you might start self-sabotaging when things are going well in your life. Hey, Educator Sanctuary listeners. Are you a homeschooling mom or thinking about it, but feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or maybe unsure how to confidently guide your child's learning journey? Maybe you're craving time for self-care, rest, or just a break, but you feel like you're doing it all on your own without anyone to turn to for help. Let me introduce you to Purpose Prep Academy, an online and in-person STEAM micro school for learners in grades K-8. Purpose Prep Academy isn't just any school. It's a space where young minds are nurtured, empowered, and taught to lead with confidence, curiosity, and purpose. Purpose Prep Academy focuses on providing students with the academic tools they need while fostering personal growth to help them thrive both inside and outside the classroom. At Purpose Prep Academy, they offer personalized learning, foster critical thinking, and provide real-world applications to help students become 21st century leaders and change makers. If you're looking for a program that can help you reclaim your time, give you peace of mind, or simply give your child a space to thrive, Purpose Prep Academy could be exactly what you've been looking for. Want to learn more? Visit purposeprepacademy.org to schedule a virtual meeting or an experience day and find out if Purpose Prep Academy is the right fit for your family. One, because you're not used to things going well for you. Some of us are so used to struggle that peace feels suspicious. It's like if you're calm, then you're waiting for something to happen. So you create a problem. You pick a fight, you procrastinate, you start spending until you don't have enough money to pay your bills, you start overthinking so much that you're paralyzed, you can't do anything because that chaos feels familiar. Number 2, because success will change your identity. When you level up, you cannot keep thinking like the old version of you. That is very uncomfortable for a lot of people because the old version of you knew how to survive. But the new version of you has to learn all over again how to maintain this new level of success. You might have to learn how to lead. You might have to learn how to expand. You might have to learn how to collaborate. You have to learn new skills. And those in itself are not ever comfortable. And so you may sneakily self-sabotage because you're scared of who you'll have to become to keep what you have built or what you want to keep expanding. 3, you might fall into the self-sabotage category because you're afraid of being seen. When things start working, people notice. And being seen sounds cute until it's not, because being seen means you have to be judged. Being seen means you have to deal with the opinions of more people. Being seen means you can't hide behind, I'm still figuring it out. So when you start gaining traction, you disappear because that brings a new level of responsibility that you don't want, didn't account for, and may not even like. Number 4, this one is going to be super big. And it's you don't trust that it's going to last for you. You know why? Because nothing ever does. So you brace, you tighten up, and you start trying to control everything. That control gets exhausting and then you burn out. And that burnout is what you call lack of motivation when it was really fear the entire time. So here is your homework. Very simple and meaningful. So it's something that I would not want you to skip. But number 1 is to find the pattern. Observe what you do when, or recall the times when. But when things start getting well for me, I usually do what? In relationships, do I start arguments? Do I find things to be upset about? Do I nitpick at my partner? When you start having more money, do you notice that problems get created for you? You have to spend more money. The refrigerator broke down. Unexpected expense at your kid's school. Okay. In your business, do you start procrastinating? Your real job gave you more work so you don't have time. The kids joined a new program and you're running with the program so you don't have time. Do you disappear altogether? Right? You started gaining momentum on your social media because you wanted to be a creator, you want to be an influencer, but all of a sudden, boom, you don't have time to create your content. You just started getting likes and comments and the app issues start happening. Do you start 10 new goals? Do you put too many things on your plate so you can't do anything? Write down what the truth is. And then number 2, name the fear. Did that cause me too much pressure? Too much responsibility? Did I not want to be noticed? The fear of actually keeping it. Step number 3, choose one. So pick one small move that you will do. One small move for one thing. Again, I'm always like, just do it in pieces. You don't have to do everything at once. If I started getting too much traction on social media and all of a sudden I don't want that attention or I don't like those negative comments, I will move past it and I would do it anyway. If I am in a relationship and it's going well and we've been having a great time and enjoying each other's company and I want to nitpick at something and start a fight, I will pause and ask myself, what am I really feeling and why am I doing this? If I came into a lot of money and I'm just ready to spend it up, I will wait 24 hours before I make the purchase to see if I still want it or was that just an impulse. If I want to quit on my goals, I will text one person and tell them what my goals are and ask them to help me become accountable. So you're going to, let me start over. 1, you're going to find your pattern, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's in money or whatever's the most prevalent thing that's standing out to you. Number 2, you're going to name the fear. What am I afraid of? What would I have to sit with if I did the thing? Number 3, then you're going to choose one move you're going to make if you feel yourself slipping back into your comfort zone. And then lastly, number 4 is create your upper limit reminder. A sentence that you will repeat when you find yourself slipping and you can reframe it and say, no, I'm safe to receive what I earned. No, skipping the gym was the old me. The new me is healthy and lean and thriving. No, I'm capable of being in a loving, peaceful, and harmonious relationship, and I deserve that. Whatever it is, put it in your phone and repeat that to yourself. If January feels like it's not going the way that you want it to go, it doesn't mean that you failed at anything. It simply means that you're human. And it might mean that you're bumping up against your upper limit. And so when you leave January, going into February, you're not asking yourself, how do I get motivated again? Right? You're asking, what part of me got uncomfortable when things started working? Because the goal isn't just momentum, which we talked about before, but the goal isn't just momentum. The goal is capacity, the ability to hold whatever it is you receive. The goal is being able to receive the good without waiting for it to fall apart. So I hope that this episode was helpful. If this episode felt like I'm in your business and why am I in your mind, I love that for you. Please go ahead and share it with a friend who also needs an extra push so they don't feel down or they don't feel like they always are taking steps forward and one step back. If you have not left a review here yet, please do. It helps more women like you find the show. And the other things that we have this year is, of course, meet me over on social media. We are at the Educator Sanctuary on TikTok, I should say Educators Pod, on TikTok, on Instagram. We're on YouTube. You can actually listen to the episodes and watch the episodes on YouTube. And this year, we also have in the show notes a way for you to support the podcast, giving something as small as $3, which helps keeps the show going and it helps us bring more to you in a way that's going to be able to help you. Thank you to everybody who have been listening, sharing, watching, commenting over on YouTube. I appreciate every single one of you. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Talk soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.